Hey YouTube, this is Art with Arthur's Projects, bringing you a 2002 Mitsubishi Eclipse today. And the customer had this car towed to my house because it wouldn't start. Part of the vehicle is extremely messy, but what we have an issue with here is the vehicle will not start. Everything shows up on there, but whenever you try to start it, this is what happens. And as you can hear, the engine is literally just turning over and it's not doing anything. So to me, what this means is that the timing belt has gone out. And what we have here is a 2.4 4-cylinder single overhead cam 16 valve engine. Now what I'm hoping is that this is not a interference engine, but honestly I have not checked it out yet, and I'm hoping that and praying that it's not. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna check the timing belt, see if it has snapped off. If it has, we're gonna replace it and hope for the best. So stay tuned. Alrighty, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the water reservoir, which just goes right in here, and it's literally just clipped on from back here on this bracket right here by the power steering reservoir. So once you pop that out, you can just set it aside, and that's it. Next thing you want to do is you have a couple of connectors right here. You don't necessarily have to disconnect them, but what you do have to do is there's a little clip right here, and all you have to do is press on those two little tabs that are on each side, and this should just literally pop out of there. So what you're going to do is just pop that out. Then you're going to have a couple of bolts. You're going to have one right here, another one right there, another one right here, and another one right there, and that's going to be your upper timing cover. So once we take that off, we'll know for sure if the timing belt is broken, and if it is, we'll get to replacing that. We'll have to take off the engine mount, which is held in by one bolt right here on the side and two bolts right here, or two nuts right here, and a bolt right here, and that'll take it off from the bracket. Once we take that off, we'll have enough room to wiggle around and do some other things. Your adjustment bolt for the alternator bracket is right here. The bolt is back here, so what you'll do is you'll loosen this bolt up a little bit right here, and then you start turning that counterclockwise, and it'll make the bracket half play, so you can take that belt off. And down here, if I can see where it is, I believe this is the adjustment screw right here for the power steering pump, but we'll leave that there for now. First thing we're going to do, like I said, is take this cover off, so stay tuned. Alrighty, so I took the upper timing cover off, and we do have a belt, so we can eliminate that. Now it's either going to be an issue with fuel or with spark. Since we know the belt is there and it is spinning, it's either going to have to do something with the spark plugs, or I should say the ignition coils and the wires, or something to do with the fuel system. Now I have already taken these coils out. There's going to be two spark plug spark plug wires and two coil on plugs, one here, one there, and then spark plug wire here and spark plug wire here. So I took them out and I tested it with a little device that looks like this. You can get this at any auto parts store. I purchased mine from O'Reilly Auto Parts. It was only about, I believe, $12. And what you do is, once you take the wire out, you would then insert this long tip in your valve cover in your head, all the way down till it touched the spark plug. And then on this side, what you would do is you want to make sure that this part right here is connected. So what this does pretty much is, there's a little light that's inside. Whenever you turn the ignition on, it's going to send power through your ignition coil into your wire down into your spark plug. This will let you know if there's actually spark going through your system, if there's power going to your spark plugs. In this case, I have already tested it, and there is electricity going into every single one of the spark plugs. So we do have spark, we have electricity, we have the timing belt is on. We know that's working properly because I already spun the engine and everything spins properly. So the only other thing that it could be is an issue with fuel delivery. Now if it doesn't happen to be something with the fuel delivery, then we have a bad engine. Either the valves are staying open enough to where the engine is not building compression, or the rings on the pistons themselves, the piston rings, are worn out and they are no longer holding compression. So one thing you could do is you could go to any of your local parts stores. Sorry about that, I've got a whole bunch of mosquitoes out here. But you can go to any of your local parts stores and you can rent a what they call a compression tester, and you take out your spark plug, you screw it in, you turn your engine over, and it'll show how much compression is in each cylinder. So that's another thing you can do. But right now I'm going to try to trace the fuel issue and see if we are getting fuel or if we're not. If we're not, that's where the problem lies. But if there is fuel and there is spark, then it's got to be something else within the engine, because we know that the timing belt is there and it's spinning over properly. So stay tuned and I'll keep you updated. Alrighty, so the next thing I did is I took off the back seat, which is just held in by two tabs, one right here and one on the other side right here. You just pull that up and the tabs on the back of the seat, they pop off and you can pull the seat out. What I did was, right now I've got it disconnected on the fuel pump. I've got the connectors disconnected, but what I did was I took the seat off and I turned the key on, and I just put my hand on top of the fuel pump, and you could hear it prime and you could actually feel it prime. And then whenever you turn the vehicle on, I did notice that there is the pump does work and it is pushing fuel. So what I did is I actually went over to the engine bay and the fuel rail, which is right here. There is a the fuel line is coming in right here, and it's bolted onto the fuel rail right here with two 10mm bolts. So what I did is I disconnected those two bolts and disconnected the line, and in a bottle I hooked it up to that, and then I had somebody turn on the vehicle for me, and I noticed that it was shooting out gas. So we know there's fuel, we know there's spark, and our timing belt is there. So the only thing left is there's no compression in the engine. From what I can see, I think this person overheated their vehicle. I can see residue everywhere right here, all right here, and if you look at the coolant reservoir tank, which I just moved out of the way, it does look dirty. Even on the inside, you can see how dirty it is. And I have a feeling what happened is they overheated this vehicle, and it damaged the head gasket and possibly even damaged the head. If y'all hear a vehicle running in the background, it's just I've got my other vehicle, I've got the battery hooked up to it since this battery's dead, and I'm just jumping it off so I can do the compression test. Now I'm fixing to show you how I know that it's going to be a bad head gasket and even possibly a warped cylinder head. And what I did is I went to Harbor Freight and I bought this compressor tool kit right here. Item number, if you're looking for it, it's 62638, and it comes with multiple little fittings for your spark plugs. I'm using the M14, which is what fits these 2.4s. And what you do is you just take out your spark plugs. I've got my valve cover off because I was checking for the rockers, make sure there's no play in them or anything like that, so that's the reason my valve cover is off. But what you want to do is you just want to screw in your hose that comes in there to your M14 fitting and bolt it in just like if it was a spark plug. And then you want to take your compression gauge, which comes with it, and it's got a quick connect fitting, and all you have to do is just connect it right there. And bear with me, I'm gonna it's kind of hard to do it with just one hand, so bear with me. But there he goes. So now it's hooked up. As you can see, the pressure is down at 0. There's no pressure whatsoever. And we're going to spin this engine over. I already tested cylinder number 1, and I have 80 pounds of pressure there. So now whenever I turn the engine over, I just let it spin over about 8 or 10 times, and that's going to build up enough compression. And as you can see right there, there's literally no compression at all. So we know for sure number 2 has no compression whatsoever. So there's a problem that lies within. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to check cylinder 3 and cylinder 4. Like I said, cylinder 1 I was getting about 80 pounds of pressure. This one, absolute 0. I'm going to check and see, which I have a feeling that there's cylinder 2 and 3 is where the fault is going to be, and cylinder 4 will check, but stay tuned and I'll let you know. Okay, so what I found out here is that there is no compression in cylinder 2 or cylinder 3. Cylinder 4 does have minor compression. It's 10 psi, so we know it's shot. Cylinder 1 is where we have all our compression, which is 80 pounds. So what I'm going to do is, I already know it's a bad head gasket automatically, and possibly even a bad head. Hopefully it can be resurfaced and reused. Worst case scenario is that this vehicle is going to need a new engine, and I'm hoping that's not the issue. I'm hoping we can just resurface the cylinder head and install a new head gasket, new thermostat, new radiator hoses, and get this thing up and running perfectly fine. So that's how you diagnose whether you have a crank and no start. So if you have a crank, no start, first thing you want to do is check and see if you have spark. Easiest way to do that, disconnect one of the spark plug wires like I had showed y'all, and get yourself one of these little tools. This is made by Lyle. They sell it at O'Reilly's, but you can get them anywhere, AutoZone, Napa, whatever auto parts stores close to you. Check and see if there's spark. If you have spark, check for fuel. Okay, some vehicles, they have a fuel port up here on the injector where you can actually connect a fuel pressure tester on there, and it'll tell you if you have fuel pressure or not. Unfortunately, this vehicle, it does not have that option, so that's why I did what I did, which was take out the back seat, make sure that the fuel pump was working, that it was priming. Then I came out here and disconnected the fuel hose, and I noticed that there was fuel. We noticed that the belt is intact, so we know the timing belt is not broken. Now we know that this vehicle was overheated and needs more work. On some vehicles, what you can do as well, if you can't access your fuel pump, you can actually come over here to your fuel door, take off your fuel cap, and have somebody turn the key to the on position. And if you put your ear next to this, you should be able to hear the fuel pump prime. That works on some vehicles. It's not going to be guaranteed to work on all vehicles, so you know, just keep that in mind. But I hope this video was helpful for anybody that's trying to diagnose a crank no start. If you liked it, please give my video a thumbs up. Subscribe. There's always going to be new videos. I'm going to try to have videos posted every week. Sometimes if I'm busy, I just unfortunately won't have time, but I'll post them as soon as I can. It might take me a little bit longer, but thank you very much for y'all watching this video. Like I said, I hope it was helpful. If it was, give it a thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. And once I get the approval from this customer to get the job done, I'll be back to show you how to take the rest of the engine apart and send the head to go get resurfaced. We'll get everything taken care of and we'll go from there. So I'll see y'all later.